So welcome to the latest unboxing video from theplayersaid.com. You have to excuse me, my voice is kind of gone. I'm a little bit sick, and I was also at the Indianapolis Colts game yesterday, so there was lots of shouting and screaming going on. So this is Triumph and Tragedy, which is the latest reprint from GMT. I think the game was originally released a couple of years ago, and this was its second print run. It's a game, it's a war game, but it also has a lot of politics and economics in there as well. So it starts from 1936, which is 3 years before the war, and goes all the way through 1945. This is a big 3-inch coin series-esque box, so let's crack it open and see what's inside. The game was designed by Craig Bassine. I'm not even going to try. But you can look him up, because I'm sure he's got some great information on this game out there. So, immediately we have the rules of play, which, second edition, they've been revised and streamlined. This is a very surprisingly thin rulebook for a game that has the scope that it does. This is only 20 pages, but it's full color, little Neville Chamberlain on the front. Doesn't seem to be particularly dense. It's got the rules in the middle, lots of different examples and bits and pieces on the sides. So this might be surprisingly easy to learn, considering lots of different phases and aspects of the game. And the game isn't just a war game you can win. There's lots of different ways. Here we have the Playbook. This is something that GMT is starting to put in a lot more of their games. Just such a valuable resource for new players. 24 pages, longer than the rulebook. This goes step by step through the different turns, and this goes from 1936 all the way through to fall of 1939, the actual breakout of the war. And it's like, has theoretical players playing a theoretical game, and in doing so they show you pretty much every single aspect of what can happen in the game and an example of that. So that when it happens in your game, okay, well, we did that in the playbook, so we can see how those effects work. Looks like we have a pad of... Let's see, there's some sheets there. So we have a pad of these game track records. So from 1936 all the way down to 1945, we're going to be logging our industry and our population, our productions, and various different important aspects. There's just some bookkeeping that's going to help us with that. And these are double-sided, so we're going to get a good there's a good 10 double-sided sheets there, so there's no worries about running out of those. Here we have the stickers. So this is a block game. Let's take a closer look at these stickers here. The stickers are very clear. Nothing that we're going to be having trouble looking at and seeing. Those are going to be clear and concise. And these are... The only other block game I played is Richard III by Columbia Games, and those blocks and stickers were huge. These are much smaller, which to fit on the board they have to be. So we have here the 3 different player aids. One for the Western Allies, one for the USSR, and one for the Germans. Here we have the individual rules, sequence of play, combat phase examples, different tables and technology effects as well. On the back of these, it looks like we have identical kind of references for the different types of units and movements and things like that. So those are going to be very, very handy in playing the game. Here we have the counter sheets. Okay. So this counter sheet, you can see these are the same counter size and shape that are used in a lot of the coin games and Labyrinth, and also in Twilight Struggle. It looks like these are double-sided, and just like in Twilight Struggle, you have control markers, and they flip over to a faded side where it's just influence as well. And there's some piece markers. These are worth VPs for different values of peace dividends, which are kept secret throughout the game. Here's a small half sheet, And these look like half-inch counters, just more of these control counters. These are smaller version. This is a smaller version of that. That's interesting. It looks like everything that is on this. These are just newer fancy pants version of this. They're bigger and nicer. I think everything else is the same. Well, it's nice to have spares. Here we have the updated move box. This is a big old 22 by 34 fully mounted map, which is always a nice bonus to have. We'll always shell out more for the mounted board. I just love them. Oh. So the board, it is a block game, so it's not hexes or anything. The game is divided into areas. Okay. As you can see, it's big and colorful, which I like a lot. It's going to make it, it looks great on the board. Discerning between the different countries, very, very easy. And that's something which is going to help us in the geopolitical aspect. You're not wondering which region is which. Everything's labeled well and colored well as well. There's tracks for all the three different factions where you're going to track your declarations of war, industry, production, things like that. And there's a game turn track down here in the corner as well. A couple of different keys to the maps. You have your big main capital cities, and you have other smaller cities as well. The game comes with a bag of 4 black dice. And then we have the all-important huge bag of blocks. Let's just pull these out. You have blocks for each faction. So you have the Western Allies here. I wonder if these are done by country, because there's a lot. You have grey for the Germans, red for the Soviet Union. I'll figure out which ones are which and putting all the stickers on those. And then the last thing in the box here are these 2 big old decks of cards. So let's just open these up. So first we have the command deck. And the command deck, the cards have a command value in the middle, and they also have 2 different neutral countries on the sides. And they can be used either for the command value or to influence either one of those countries to try and swing them towards your side from a political aspect, or to influence them that way. Then the other deck is a technology deck, and they're a similar style of card. You have a production value, industry value here, and then you also have different technologies that you can use them to research, which are going to help you, advance in the game either militarily or winning through technology, trying to build the A-bomb. You can win that way, kind of thing as well. A word of warning: this is a long game. This is a 5-hour game, and there's no real way around that. I'm excited for that. I think it's going to be a very rewarding game. The only way you can shorten the game, really, is that there's a little not scenario, but you just chop off the pre-war years. So you just start at 1939 instead of 1936. But to me, the game shines by having that pre-war stuff. I'm most interested in that political aspect of trying to influence the pre-war stuff to see what would happen in a what-if kind of scenario. So this is Triumph and Tragedy by GMT Games. We'll be finding sometime, somewhere to play this, but it's a great production value. Very excited for this style of game, and it's a big 3-player game, so that's going to be a very different kind of beast from the regular head-to-head 2-player war games. So thank you very much for watching, and watch out for reviews coming up soon. Thank you.